Archangels, ghosts, and Bigfoot. Oh my. It's just another night for Supernatural Girls. Real stories, real answers to life's biggest supernatural mysteries. And now for another exciting interview with paranormal experts from this world and others. Here's your host, paranormal researcher Patricia Baker, on the one, the only Supernatural Girls.
Welcome, everyone, to another great episode of Supernatural Girls. This will be our last show for the year. Mm-hmm. And for that, PK and I wanted to get one of the most special people we have ever met. And he's kind enough to say yes to come on the show tonight. We're going to bring him on in a couple of minutes. Whitley Strieber. We love this man. Don't we love him?
Oh, not a doubt.
We talk about him all the time. He probably doesn't know that he's so beloved by these two old ladies. But anyways.
Speak for yourself, being old. I'm the young one.
That's right. You're the young one. So anyways, but first we got to get to you, Miss PK. What's going on with the numbers?
Well, firstly, retrograde has ended. We're still in a bit of the shadow period, but at least the darn thing's over with. Yay. What a nightmare that always is for us.
I know it.
So the fact that we're in a 2 personal month, we need to take a look at the fact that sensitivity, relationships, teamwork, they're all top of the list. So don't let your nose get out of joint by what's going on around you. If somebody you feel has snubbed you, trust me, they probably don't even know they've done it. Everyone's just super sensitive. On top of that, you add the shopping, spending money that we don't usually have at this time of year, because the man upstairs has made sure that we've wasted so much before we get here. That Christmas Grinch ran off with my billfold. That's all there is to it. So we're working the best we can to put it together. But the most important thing is when this month is over, we are going into a brand new segment of a new 9-year cycle.
Yay.
Yes and no. Every month of next year will be exactly as it is. January is a 1 month. It will be truly a 1 month. New beginnings, fresh starts, all that good stuff. So in the meantime, clean the closet, clear off the countertop, get rid of the stuff you don't want so that once we go into 2025, it's going to feel great.
Good.
Not perfect, but great. That's a big difference.
I'm ready.
Oh boy, am I ready.
Stuff is going to the dump. There's no question. Good.
Oh, not a doubt in my mind. But I think the most important thing everybody needs to remember is that sensitivity is the name of the game. So remember that not everybody may feel as upbeat as you do. And a lot of people need a hug or a pat on the head or just it's okay. That'll help us get through this holiday. Holidays are always difficult. People that have lost people spending money they don't have, people trying to make everybody be happy when a lot of them don't want to be. They just want to cuddle up, stay by the fire, and be left alone.
Yeah.
Outside of that, life is good.
That's all right.
We'll take it.
We have some nice things to look. Yeah, that's right. We have some nice things to look forward to, I think, in this.
Yes, we do. We truly do.
I'm excited about it, and I'm excited about our guest tonight.
Oh, I am too. He's fabulous.
He's an amazing man. He's written over 40 books. It's incredible. Whitley Strieber started his writing career with the Wolfen in 1979. There followed, after that, over 40 books during a long writing lifetime. The Wolfen, The Hunger, Communion, and Superstorm have all been made into films. Superstorm was made into a film called The Day After Tomorrow. Now, Whitley's series Alien Hunter was a TV series called Hunters on the SyFy Channel.
Right.
In 1985, he had a frightening close encounter, which led to his best-selling book, Communion. Whitley's new book, which is going to drop in January, I cannot wait for this one, The Fourth Mind, is the first of its kind Reestablishing the Truth and Power of Humankind. And he's here with us tonight. We are so blessed. Whitley, welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Oh, it's our honor to have you here. You are the best. And we're sorry you don't feel well. And it was still so nice of you to get yourself ready for camera ready for this. So thank you for coming.
Okay. I don't feel that bad. I have COVID, and theoretically, I mean, I'm testing positive and I've got a sort of slight chest cold.
Oh.
But there's no other symptoms.
Good.
Well,
Good. So we want you to get well soon. And again, we're so happy to have you here. This new book is sounding so exciting and so right on for this time in our lives. But
well, it's time for the book. It's been a long time in coming, and this is exactly the right time for it to go out there.
It really is. But first, should we talk about the drones? Because I know you mentioned you'd be happy
absolutely. We surely we can.
So what are your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, the government is lying so blatantly that it's become a kind of clown show. It's fantastic. You have to think that this has outrun them in some way, or there is someone that we can't see who is forcing them to say what they say, because it is completely obvious that everything the federal government, the administration, has said about this is false. Everything.
That I believe.
The truth of the matter is, when you cut to the chase, we don't know what they are. That's the truth of it. And I do have some ideas about why they're here and the whole history of this. It has quite a complex history, and we can go into it as deeply as you want to. It's up to you. You can ask me questions, or I can talk for anywhere from 2 minutes to 4 hours about it. It's up to you.
Well, I have to share with you, Whitley, that one of these drones, it flew over my house, and it looked like a drone. It did not look like a UFO to me or anything from another dimension. It looked like it was a military grade drone. And the one thing that I heard that kind of made sense was that there was some nuclear material that had been smuggled into the country through New Jersey, and they were looking for it with these drones. But according to Trump, he said they know, where these things are coming from. They know what these things are doing, and they don't want to tell the people, which he was against that, which I am too. But it was kind of it wasn't a bad, scary feeling when I saw this thing, but it was like, you don't belong, flying over people's houses like this. But what I saw was clearly a drone. It was mechanically engineered, I'm sure, here. So what do you think about that? I mean, do you think that's a possibility, that's what's going on?
No, it's not. It's highly unlikely, unless there's something behind the nuclear material story that's been published that hasn't been published. What happened was this: nuclear material, this is medical waste specifically, which was involved in the story that was published, is often stolen, and it is repurposed, stolen, smuggled abroad, and repurposed and resold into the medical supply chain abroad. There are many countries in which they have not got the ability to test the potency of nuclear materials that they purchase for their X-ray machines and so on and so forth. So it's a big black market. And this is a routine. What I saw was a description of an absolutely routine situation where a container is opened that contained low-level medical waste, and this medical waste was then conflated into a big story. That sort of, if you look carefully enough, you'll find stories like this scattered across the media over the years, and they rarely reach any particular level of importance because they're not important stories.
Mm-hmm. So, what is your take on this? You're saying that we really don't know what these things are.
Not at all.
So they're not from here.
I wouldn't draw any conclusions. When we say we don't know, we don't know. That doesn't mean we don't know, but actually we do know. Don't know is that. It's don't know. There's a pattern here, though, which we can discuss. That is this. The first time this occurred in recent years, there may have been an incident related in 1965, but it's too far back, and there were no drones then, and so it's impossible to tell exactly what was going on. However, in 2019, in northern Colorado and southern Nebraska, there were weeks of drone incursions in December of 2019 and January of 2020, which caused a considerable amount of public concern and were investigated. The drones flew at night from 6 to 10 p.m. They were found in groups of up to 19, and they were not, the FAA requires by law waivers to fly drones at night and waivers to fly drones in formation. No such waivers were asked for by the FAA, by whoever was flying these drones. The drones were not generally visible on radar, and in fact, I don't think at all. And they did not provide infrared heat signatures any more than the drones over New Jersey have. Now, that alone is proof positive that there's nothing we know about, because a drone is going to have an engine and is going to have a very significant heat signature. If you had looked at the one over your house with an infrared sensitive camera, my guess is it was an ordinary drone. That's what you're describing, and it would have had a significant heat signature. If it had been one of the anomalous ones, there would have been no heat emanating from it.
Ah, okay.
So,
it's a big clue.
To go on, the next incursion happened in October of last year over Langley Air Force Base. There were numerous events over Langley Air Force Base night after night. The government did not do anything about them, even though one involved a near miss with a fighter jet, and they still didn't act. Now, there has to be a reason for that.
Yes.
It can't be ours doing testing or whatever they may be doing if they're going to nearly collide with one of our own jets. I don't think so. Right. But at the same time, they didn't respond because they obviously know what this is, and they know they can't respond. So then the next thing happens. The United States sends nuclear materials to England. They arrive at Lakenheath, RAF, and shortly thereafter, drones appear over Lakenheath, RAF. This goes back to a long history of anomalous objects appearing in the context of nuclear proliferation. The first such incident took place in 1946 at White Sands, when a V-2 rocket was fired, and when it had reached an altitude of 40,000 feet, an unknown something caused it to go off course. It was shot at by something that was seen on radar, and it went off course and was destroyed because it was by ground control, because it was off course. At the time, the United States was the only nuclear power in the world, and we had not yet attached a nuclear weapon to a missile, but clearly that was on the way. A warning, therefore. Then, over the course of the 1960s, and into the early 70s, both in the United States and Russia, there were incursions into missile control facilities, alterations of targeting systems, damage to the facilities, especially in Russia. And clearly someone was there warning us in their own way about the danger of nuclear war. Mm-hmm. At the same time, starting in the 1970s and continuing up through the early 2000s, many thousands of people around the world had close encounters of the third kind, in which many of them were warned about environmental crisis. Now, fast forward to the present. Lakenheath, a nuclear proliferation of the first order. The United States, for the first time in 20 years, is returning nuclear weapons to the UK. These are nuclear weapons, unlike those that are already in the UK, that would not be under the control of the UK, but of the US. And they may be attached to one of two new types of delivery systems, or both. One, a stealth delivery system. Two, a hyperspeed delivery system, either of which could reach Russia unawares, meaning that this is profoundly destabilizing to the balance of power, since these weapons could conceivably reach Russia before Russia could react. So mutually assured destruction goes by the boards. This could mean to the visitors that nuclear war is inevitable because of the presence of those weapons there. That would explain why they would show up there to warn us again, the same way they have consistently across the past. At the same time, Donald Trump is elected president of the United States, and part of his platform is to abandon environmental amelioration of the environmental problems. I'm not interested in politics at all. Nature to me is numbers. I can see what the numbers say, and so can the visitors. They told me 7 years ago that we had 7 years left. Now we have 5 years left. And 4 of those 5 years, we will do absolutely nothing further in the United States. China can't do it much more than they have done, because building of electric cars is one thing. Deploying solar farms is another thing, both of which they've done extensively. But the real cleanup that it is going to be blocked by two things: by the inability of the system to stay ahead of the need for coal, and by corruption in the Red Army, which really controls the country. Russia can't do anything because it's a poor, primitive country for the most part on its back, that has a highly developed system of military projection, but nothing else. India cannot and won't try anything because it's completely out of control. And to change the pollution profile of India would take a beyond belief amount of money and effort that they do not possess. That leaves the US. Europe is already trying, and reasonably effectively. The US should have been trying. It is, of all of these countries, remains the largest polluter, and also the most organized and innovative economy in the world. There's no question, I'm sure, in their minds, as there isn't in mine, that we could turn this around. We are not going to touch it. By the time the 4 years are over, it will be too late. Thus, they appeared over Donald Trump's Bedminster Golf Club, and he said on the radio or on the television the other day, he doesn't plan to stay there. I don't blame him. There are two messages that have been conveyed. The first message is a very, very intense one about nuclear war. The second one is equally intense about the danger of climate change. These are the two fundamental issues that the visitors have been interested in from the beginning. That's what's happening.
Okay. Well, that is a totally new perspective, and I appreciate that so much. I mean, also the history of all of this.
Definitely.
puts a whole different context around it. So how do you see this resolving with the drones? You think, well, you don't know what they are, so they may stay around for a while, but here's another question.
I have learned never to second guess the visitors. They think very asymmetrically. And quite frankly, there will come a point when they intervene and we lose dominion over our planet. I don't know if this is the point, but it could happen. They will at some point, and maybe they already have made a decision or will make a decision as to whether or not they want to let us go or try to enable the species to survive. If they decide that they will help us survive, then I'm not sure we're going to actually want that, because we will want it. We will. It'll be a new world. I wrote a book a couple of years ago called A New World for that reason. Mm-hmm. It will be a completely new world. It will not be like this at all. It will change in absolutely fundamental ways. I can't predict exactly what those ways are, but among other things, the visitors are fluently telepathic. That is entirely real. It is not a fantasy. It is a part of nature, just like radio or anything else. And when you are with them, you are too. This means that they are capable of turning it on and off in us. If they turned it on in us, in all of us, our world would change in an instant, completely, into something different from what it is now. I think they probably have that capacity. And the degree to which they will intervene, I don't know if they do. I'm not sure we're going to be happy with it. I don't think it's going to be all sweetness and light. I think it's going to be very hard. A new world, if you can take it. The if you can take it part is the question. And can.
Exactly. I mean, now your new book, you're talking about the superpowers that we have that we haven't, most of us haven't accessed. Tell us more about your new book and why did you write this?
Okay, it's time for this book. It's exactly the right time for it. It'll be published on exactly the right day. This book, The Fourth Mind, has two parts. The first part demystifies the Greys by going into, in detail, their anatomy, their biology, their brain functions and brain structures, and their belief system insofar as it's understandable. And it shows how they have made alterations in their genetic structure, some of which have been effective, some of which have not. And it goes into this more deeply than anything. In fact, there's nothing ever been written that goes as deeply into this on the outside of the secret government. It does mirror what is known on the inside. And I look forward to the day when that material is officially released and biologists, not general writers, general interest writers like me, can take a serious look at it. It has so far only been looked at behind the scenes, and it is explored as insofar as I was able to without violating any laws in this book. The second part of the book goes into the powers that we had in the past and why we lost them. If you look at the Earth and forget all of the efforts that are devoted to trying to explain away things that cannot actually be explained away, you see things like the platform at Baalbek with 100-ton stones that were moved, carved by unknown means, moved by unknown means, down a known causeway that is in no way reinforced in such a way that stones like that could be rolled across it. That's not how it was done. You look at Nan Madol, the group of artificial islands in the Carolinas in the Pacific, 750,000 basalt logs carved at a nearby quarry and brought there to build these artificial islands. a project so huge that is unimaginable that we could achieve it today, just like Baalbek, just like the fortress at Sacsayhuaman and many other architectural artifacts in Peru, just like some caves that have been carved in India by unknown means. This debris of this lost civilization is all over the planet. And there's much more that I go into in the book. Why is it lost? Why is it not like that? Right. I do think that aliens came and did this and then left. I think it was us. I think we had powers to do these things by a connection to the earth that was broken at an absolutely extraordinary time in the past, known in geology as the Younger Dryas. This period that started about 12,000 years ago was incredibly violent. To give you, it's when the last ice age ended. To give you an idea of the extraordinary violence of what happened, the first thing that occurred was something impacted the planet. You find mammoth bones all over North America, and if you look at these bones under a microscope, you find microscopic bits of iron in them. These animals were impacted by high-speed micrometeorites. At the same time, the entire continent caught fire. The remains of that fire is something called the black mat, which is extensive over the North American continent. It's sometimes a depth of 10 or 12 feet, sometimes just a few inches. It consists of charcoal and algae, skeletons of algae. What it was after this fire, the glacier melted, the Laurentide Glacier melted, sending a flood across the whole continent, extinguishing the fire and leaving a lake that essentially lasted for about 1,000 years, gradually settling back onto the earth, leaving this thick mass of charcoal and dead algae, which became the black mat, which geologists have been studying for years. It's not fiction. It's well-established fact. But it's so terrible that we literally don't think of it. We don't think of this catastrophe. Before the catastrophe, we had these powers. Nature turned against us. Human population around the planet dropped to about 30,000 individuals. And when we came out of it, we were no longer connected to our earth in the way we had been, and our relationship to it, our physical relationship to it, was broken. We have to regain it. The visitors have their relationship still. If you are with them, and I have been with, I'm not going to bother to pussyfoot around about it. I've been with them plenty. If they touch you, you feel an incredible electricity going through your body. It's not coming from them. It's because they are connected with the earth, and it reconnects you with the earth. And for a little while, you have extraordinary powers too.
No kidding.
It's about how to regain our powers, not by asking them for help, but by doing it ourselves, and we can.
Well, this is fascinating, Whitley, and certainly your experience it says it all. I mean, again, there's nothing better than talking to somebody like you who's actually had this happen, and you're here to tell us what it was like and what we need to do. So for people, I'm sure you deal with this in your book, for people to regain this connection, it's going to take more than just walking around with bare feet on the ground. So, what things do you talk about, and can you talk about in your book and here with us tonight?
What I talk about here tonight is this. First of all, the book's not a self-help book. Mm-hmm. We're going to have to figure that out later. In other words, it's not a course or anything. I've never found one of those courses that really worked and did anything for me personally. So, any case, what the book does do is it shows how various powers are real. And what has closed us off, like if you say to someone, did you know human beings can actually levitate? They tune it out, completely outside of their experience. Western science tells us it's impossible, and I don't blame Western science. It seems impossible to me too, but it wasn't always. In fact, I know a man, he's passed on now, Paul Eno, who actually witnessed this. And let's be precise about what he witnessed. He was at an exorcism. He was a novice in the Catholic priesthood at the time, and he was assigned as his mentor was a local priest who was also the archdiocesan exorcist. They went to a mental asylum where a young woman, the young woman's family, had asked for an exorcism. She was struggling with schizophrenia and drug addiction. During the exorcism, in front of the priest, the exorcist, Paul, the other assistant, two people, nurses from the facility, and a psychiatrist, the woman rose up out of the wheelchair to an altitude of about 4 or 5 feet. Right out of the movie The Exorcist. In fact, the story might have even inspired, I think it did inspire the movie The Exorcist in part. And I'm not even going to bother to go down the old demon path because it doesn't matter to me. What happened then was the exorcist said to Paul, please push her down into the chair. He pushed her back down into the chair, and he told me there was a slight resistance. She felt about like a balloon, meaning that this body of, say, 100 pounds weight, covered with clothing that probably weighed another 3 or 4 pounds, had become not just light, but lighter than air. That was done by this. We don't recognize the power of this.
Right.
We've lost touch with what it really is. And we can begin to regain our connection to our own brains and minds, and our true selves. Listeners haven't lost it. I've seen them levitate. I've levitated with them. When they're with you, they hold your hand, you go right up, right with them.
How did it feel?
Extremely upsetting. I went up in the air without the slightest warning. The first time, it was like going up in an elevator with no elevator. And it was quite exciting, I'm telling you. But looking back the 2 or 3 times it's happened, I would like to be able to do that on demand. And I think that if we can recognize that things like this and things like telepathy are real, we'll be able to do that. I don't see why not. If we could in the past. And when you're with the visitors, you're fluently telepathic. It's as easy as pie. But when you're not with them, you can't do it at all. That means it's in there, but it's not turned on. We can turn it on. And I think that the way to do that has already been pointed out. There's a wonderful group of podcasts you can get them on Spotify or Apple or anywhere, called the telepathy tapes.
Yes, we've heard of them. Yes.
Yeah. If you listen to the telepathy tapes, this wonderful story emerges of these gentle, sweet people who are not voiced, who are profoundly autistic, who have fluent telepathy. And it's been proved. It's not, and this is so critical. The Western imagination has walled off all of this stuff And what seems like enlightenment is indeed that on one level, but on another level, it's a prison. And we got to break out of the prison without losing the enlightenment. That's going to be a good trick, but we'll do it. In any case, I am enough telepathic to have engaged with some of they're called spellers. They spell rather than speak telepathically a few times recently because I didn't know they were there before. In any case, what it takes is kindness and not lying. If you lie, you close the door because you've got something to hide. You mustn't have anything to hide. When you have nothing to hide and you're kind and open, telepathy comes to you like a scared little puppy coming up because it's realizing, actually, this is safe for me. And inside yourself, that part of you that is telepathic begins to feel safe as well. And you become telepathic. And suddenly you realize, I've been in love with the world in a way I was denying myself and turning away from. And it's okay to be vulnerable. It doesn't matter. It's okay to have things I am embarrassed by or ashamed of. Nobody really cares. The other telepathic people have them too. And we can just all live with it together. It's not a big deal. Once you live like that, you start to feel like that. You can concentrate carefully. You'll find telepathy enters your life. First, very slowly, very subtly, and then more fully over time.
So now do you experience telepathy?
When I'm with another person who can project telepathically, sure.
Great.
I'm not going to go around pretending to be a mind reader because nobody can do that. I mean, yeah, there are some very powerful people, and certainly the visitors can read minds very easily. But the average person like me, I'm not going to go down that path. I'm not trying to read your minds.
Do the visitors have any aspirations for us? I mean, other than really wanting us to reconnect with the earth and start being the caretakers we were supposed to be. Do they have any aspirations for us reaching that level to be able to communicate with them easily with telepathy, to be able to levitate, to be able to do any of these amazing, wonderful things?
They are the most parsimonious critters I've ever met. And if they're here in numbers, and they're here because they have something they want here badly. And that is us. They want us at every level. If we don't, well, let me see. I sort of lost my train. Okay.
Why do they want us?
They will exploit us if they have to. In other words, if we don't have anything to give to the relationship, they're going to take from us. They've already taken a lot of sexual material from us, and they have created hybrids. These hybrids are fluently telepathic, they are unvoiced, and they are autistic. Because they have to be. The amount of sensory input that comes in has to be restricted in order for them to be sure of this fluent telepathy. And if you think about it, this is not a nice thing to do. I mean, don't think the visitors are angels. They're far from it. They are definitely here for some of their own purposes and their own reasons, and they are exploitative, but they are also here for us. And if you're strong and you want to do this, they will come halfway. Again, get back to a new world if you can take it. It means if you can strong enough to stand up to them, strong enough to stand up to your own needs and desires, strong enough across the board. This is about being strong.
you found a way to access that inner strength when you are in their presence, so that you're not just taken over by them, you are an equal with them.
Well, I mean, I'm certainly not taken over by them. Who would want to take me over anyway? I'm much too dull.
I seriously doubt that.
No, it's not about taking over.
Uh-huh.
It's not about taking over. Who wants, you don't want to take over. You want to have a relationship.
Yes.
Who wants a robot? I mean, why would they come all the way from wherever the hell they've come from to turn us into a bunch of robots? Speaking of dull, that would be dull.
Yes.
They want interaction. They're here for the new. And we have that in spades for them. This is a rich resource of newness for them. And they want it. I know that.
Interesting. So it's mainly people that they're interested in, not so much what other people have said. They want some resources, whether it be water or minerals or whatever. It's not about that.
Well, water, most all minerals, and we can always choose something and say, oh, that's not common in the universe. But if they can get around the universe comfortably, believe me, it is so big that nothing, anything, no matter how rare it is, it's common somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
What makes us the interest to these people?
Us.
Just us? Aren't there other us's somewhere out there?
Well, they're here now. So one thing I think that intelligent species are quite rare. There's approximately 21 trillion planets in this universe, according to science. So if intelligent species are so rare as to be essentially invisible in reality, that leaves only a billion or so in the universe. And if this universe isn't the only one, then there are billions of intelligent species out there, all looking up at the sky at one time or another in their lives. And believe me, sometimes somebody has figured out how to climb Jacob's ladder. You can be sure of that.
Well, you talked about some of our history and how we got cut off from our connection. But then there is a lot of ancient information, whether it be in Göbekli Tepe or Egypt, about reaching these higher levels of awareness.
Yes.
And so that's a part of our history, too, that we don't have enough information on. We have some, but not a lot.
The gold is lying there for us to pick it up. The manna is on the ground. It's right there. The past has got a very clear message for us. I go into that in the book. It's quite clear. And if you do avail yourself of that wisdom, it's there for you. And you can use it, and it does work. It works very well. The oldest piece of wisdom on the planet is also what Buckminster Fuller called the building block of the universe. It is this. In the Sphinx has the haunches of a bull, that is strength, the claws of a lion, that is emotions, and the intelligence of a man, that is the head. Strength and the emotions are balanced by the intelligence. That's the triad, the fundamental building block of the universe. And if you go into atomic physics, what do you see? You see the neutron, the proton, and the electron. Every atom starts there. The electron is the active principle, that is to say, the emotions. The neutron is the passive principle, that is to say, the proton is the passive principle, and the neutron is the balancing principle that brings them all together. So The Sphinx is an expression of the atom and of consciousness, both in balance. And yes, there's a lot of very extraordinary information available, littered across the past. A lot of it. And we can take advantage of it. All we have to do is look, and we will find it. It's readily available. I wrote a book called Jesus: A New Vision, which is about the message that Jesus has for us. And it's a message that has been lost, but it's a really powerful message. It's the most powerful single message I know of, in the sense not that it is unique, but it is so compressed and so clear.
What is that message?
Well, the best place to start is be as little children. That's where to start. Don't be afraid to be who you really are. Behind all of the layers of personality, there's somebody who once had a lot of fun and can again. My wife was a truly, you can see her back there beside the communion lady. She was a master. And although she's passed on, and so I can safely say that without getting slapped around, but she always said, no, there's no such thing. Anyone who calls themselves a master is no master at all. But I know what she was and what I saw her become over her years. And she used to say, it all begins with laughter. As soon as you can start to laugh at yourself, you can start to learn and know yourself. Meister Eckhart, the great theological master of the 12th century, used to say, God laughs and plays. And here is his description of the creation. God laughed, and his laughter begat the sun, and the sun laughed. Then they laughed together, and their laughter begat the Holy Spirit. And they all laughed together, and out of their laughter poured the universe. We close the shades on the little cottage of our lives so we don't have to hear that laughter or see that light. Open the shade. It seems like that's the scariest thing to do in the world. Could never do it, but it's actually really easy. Just laugh at yourself. You can easily find ways of laughing at yourself. I can, for sure. And look at who you really are. What are you going to find? You're going to find you've done all kinds of things in your life that you think, oh my God, why did I ever do that? But you're also going to find somebody else, somebody who started out and who had all kinds of expectations and hopes. And you can go back there. One time go ahead.
No, that's okay. We're waiting for your next thought here.
Okay.
Yeah.
One time, the visitors called. I had been begging and pleading with them, whining. My wife said, how could they ever spend any time with a whiner like you? I said, well, if I whine enough, they come. I mean, it works. They get sick and tired of it, and they come.
There you go.
True. Anyway, I was kvetching and whining that I wanted to meet them physically. This was in about 1988. And I had a bench in the little woods behind my house, and I would sit on the bench and imagine one of them coming and sitting beside me, and we could talk, and all of this fantasy. Mm-hmm. So one morning, February morning, just before dawn, I hear this trumpet sound above the house. And I think, oh my God, it's them. There couldn't be anything else. There's no other way to explain it. So I think I'm going to do it. I get up, I grab my robe. I'm in bed at the time. Grab my robe, put it on, put on my slippers, and go outside. It's cold, snow on the ground, not a lot, fortunately, but enough. Go across the deck behind the house. I go up onto the hill that's just there. The woods are naked. Beyond the naked woods is a clearing. And in the clearing, there is something making a noise, going clank, clank, clank. It's the noise their machines make when they're just idling. And I can see this black thing there and some figures standing beside it. And I think, my God. And so I walk up onto the little crest and I start to go down the path. I stop for a minute just out of amazement. And I hear in my head this voice go, "Come on, come on." And it was so scary, I couldn't take another damn step. And I thought to myself, my God, if I go down there and I disappear and never, she ends up with no ability to support her and our boy.
Yeah, right.
So I go back to the house. I put my hand on the doorknob and I hear 3 cries from above the woods. Oh, oh, oh. They remain to this day the 3 only truly perfect sounds I have ever heard, the 3 most emotionally rich sounds I have ever heard. I proceed into the house. I get to the bedside. I sit on the bedside. I realize there is someone I can't see in the room. By that time, we were very sensitized to the fact that we would often have people in the house we couldn't see. So it was no big deal. The cats could see them, so it was easy to see when they were there. The cats would be watching them. The cats weren't there. And at least I don't remember the cats being around. I realize I'm face to face with someone I can't see. The next thing I know, I'm suddenly in a completely different place. I am in a room. There are these tall, thin sort of sticks standing up. And I appear to be gliding rather than walking.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm thinking, what in the world has happened? Then I look up and I recognize what the sticks lead to. It's my mother's desk from when I was a baby in her room. What they have done is they have taken me back to the moment I first walked. And so vividly, it is as if my adult mind has been projected into my baby body, passed through time.
Goodness.
And I realize what it means. You're still a baby, Whitley, but you've taken your first step.
Oh.
You see,
oh my God.
is if we can open our minds to this and just let it happen. Yes.
Wow.
We can do this.
Whitley, I have to tell you, I feel like we just sat down 2 seconds ago and now the show.
I agree. I agree.
Like, wait a second. Chanel's saying we have 1 minute to wrap. I'm writing, oh no. Whitley, thank you so much. Your book is on sale in January, correct?
Yes.
Okay, everybody, you got to get the book online. And yes, I'm sure it's on Amazon. All the bookstores are carrying it.
No, the bookstores won't carry it.
They won't.
No, they don't carry my books.
Okay, well,
you can get it from Amazon as long as it's there, and I'm not even sure how long it'll be there. So,
buy your copies, everybody. Get ready and run to your internet and buy this copy.
Yes.
Yes, Whitley, please come back. We just loved having you here. You are so amazing. You're such a delight, and we think the world of you. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
So everybody,
thank you for what you share with us.
Our producer's just going to cut us off. So we'll see you in the new year, but we will have 2 more shows that are going to air that are repeats. Be sure you catch them. And until then, everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We will see you on the Blue Highway. Good night.